If you're planting tomatoes in the southern heat this year, then you have to plant them like this. I'm Claire with the North Florida Garden Project. My garden is in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm here to help your garden thrive even in the southern heat. If you missed our first video on when you should be planting your tomatoes and what varieties you should be looking for, then make sure you go back and watch that one first. But let's jump into how we should be planting our tomatoes. So because our growing season can be so short here, I really recommend starting your tomatoes outside from transplants instead of from seeds. It gives your plants those 6 to 8 weeks of extra wiggle room in there where they can grow inside without the pest pressures and without being exposed to the elements. And it can really give your garden a great start before we start to get into those hot summer months, or if you're planting in the fall, before you start to get into those danger of frost windows. Starting seeds inside is really not that hard. I have it dialed in now, and I have a list below that you can go to, and it shows just the basics of what you would need to start some seeds inside. But if you don't have 6 weeks to wait before you want to get those tomatoes in the ground, then just go buy some transplants from a local nursery. The timing can be really tricky of when to transplant your tomatoes out because if the soil is too cold, the tomatoes won't grow. They'll kind of just stall there and wait for the right temperatures, but all the while they're being exposed to the pests and diseases that can make them weaker before they start to get stronger. You're looking for a preferred soil temperature of about 65 to 85 degrees. You can use a simple soil thermometer to stick that into the depths of the roots of your tomato plants, what you think they'll be, and then leave it in there for just a few minutes and see what that temperature reading comes back at. If it's between that 65 to 85 degrees, then you're good to go. Important to note too that you really should check those soil temperatures in the morning when you first wake up, usually before 9 a.m., so you can get a sense of what that soil is doing overnight. Download my soil temperature PDF in the description below. It'll tell you the optimal soil temperatures for a variety of vegetables, flowers, and herbs so your plants can truly go into the ground when they're meant to go into the ground and thrive instead of stalling. Tomato plants are absolutely amazing. So you can actually bury the stem of a tomato plant and that stem will start growing new roots. How cool is that? And when we're planting in the southern heat, our plants need deep roots, or else that top layer of soil can dry out too quickly, especially if you aren't mulching the top of your soil, and then those roots don't have the nutrients that they need to grow a nice healthy plant. So we don't just pop our tomato transplants in like we would with our brassicas. We take off the bottom leaves of our tomato plant and then we bury that deep, all the way up that stem that we just took the leaves off of. You don't want the top leaves to be touching the soil, so make sure you give them enough room between the soil and that top set of leaves that you're leaving on the plant. After you plant, sprinkle around that tomato plant with some good compost and some worm castings to help to feed that soil and to build that soil over the season. Water that in, and of course, don't forget to recover your soil with mulch, or I use some mulched up leaves this year, or something to keep that soil covered and dark and moist so those soil microbes can truly thrive. It's a good idea to stake your tomato plants now when they're still young, so you don't have to fight all of those other branches when they start growing bigger. For our indeterminate varieties, these things are called indeterminates because they can grow as tall as they want to, right? Their height is not determined. So these plants can grow up to 4 or 6 feet or more tall, and it's like a jungle if you don't have an idea of how you want to contain these tomato plants. So for me, I've tried a variety of different ways. I've tried the traditional tomato cages, which my indeterminates quickly outgrow. I've tried just using a garden stake and then trying to wrap the tomato around there, which works a little bit, but again, I'm rather short, so they quickly get out of hand for me. So my favorite method for my indeterminate tomatoes is planting them at ground level and doing the Florida weave method, where you have your strong garden stakes every so often among your tomato plants, and then you just use some garden twine to go in and out of each of your tomato plants. So as they grow and they start pushing on that twine, the forces of them pushing in opposite directions actually makes that twine stronger and keeps them in a row of tomato plants. Tomatoes are always forming little suckers as well that come off between the branch of the main stem and a leaf branch. They grow right in the middle there. So you can take them off if you want. They do take energy from the plant that you're growing upwards. But for me, my indeterminates get so big so fast that I actually leave the suckers as long as they're not close to the ground, so I can have more of a harvest that's lower, and then the whole thing just comes down when we get into that summer heat or we get into that first frost. So after your new tomato transplant plants are all snug in their bed and recovered with their mulch, you want to water them 2 to 3 times a week during their growing season. If you want to check to see if you need to water, you can pull back that mulch and grab some of that soil deep from within your garden bed. And if you squeeze it in a fist and it crumbles, then you need to water. But if you squeeze it and you can tell that it stays together and holds its form, that means that it has enough moisture that you might not have to water that day. My absolute favorite way to water all of my garden plants is with the Garden in Minutes gardening grid. You can simply hook your hose up to the end of it and it waters each square foot of your garden from the bottom only, so you don't have to worry about the hose hitting the tops of those leaves and developing some of those fungal conditions that our plants can be so prone to in the southern humidity. I love that I can hook it up and then I can go inside or I can go check on the other beds, and I just set a timer on my watch to come out and change it over to the next bed. Let's talk a little bit about feeding our tomatoes during the growing season. So tomatoes like to be fed. Personally, I'm transitioning from using more of the synthetic fertilizers to fertilizing each month with compost and worm castings, just like I do when I start planting. My reason for this is I'm really trying to build a healthier garden ecosystem for all of my plants and all of our beneficial insects to thrive in, instead of just focusing on getting more tomatoes or more of whatever that crop is harvested in that one season. Just like we did when we first planted our tomatoes, sprinkle some compost and some worm castings around that base, water it in, and recover it with your mulch. Next, we'll be talking about how our tomatoes can beat the humidity, pests, and that terrible blossom end rot. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss when it comes out.